always having to say. Are you on?
I already told you to go live.
He's on his way.
Boom! There we are. Look at that. We got some new graphics today, too.
Oh, yeah, it's all festive and everything with St. Patty's coming up, all green and Celtic.
Well, it kind of goes in with the theme tonight. We're going to be dropping the poster for the first time. And, we talked about the double header. And what better, flies down, jeez. We're not that kind of show, Andy.
Good thing we got the graphic.
Yeah, actually, now if you look at the graphic though, it's kind of right where you fly. Jesus, people are probably like, what kind of show am I watching today? How about we just cheers, everybody? Johnny's making his way downstairs to the studio, but cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Remember, we're gonna course.
I left my Monster cases at home, so I don't have any Monster today. But let's see. I'm gonna share it out.
I'm finding the card too.
Perfect. So for those, we got the little festive. If you've kind of seen, if you were on my Instagram live on Thursday, we teased the poster there. If you've seen the Table Titans announcement for today, you kind of have an idea of what the poster is going to look like. And as you know, we always have like our theme. So so we're going to wait for Johnny to come down. He should be down any minute. And then when he does, we're going to release the poster. And then tonight's guests, we have Lindsey Kelly. We have Brody McDougal and Daniel Keepers. We just announced on Saturday, we had a breaking announcement. We announced Joe Giannetti's support. What do you think of that?
We announced that Saturday?
Yeah, the breaking news.
Oh, that's right.
Remember you called me the next day and you're like, hey, and I was like,
I know, we both been talking. We were both losing our mind a little bit.
So what do you think of the announcement of JoJo?
I think that's a huge step up of an opponent coming out of the UFC, coming off a loss to Paddy Pimblett. It's just the notoriety that he has behind him. Make sure I pronounce the name correctly here.
And Dramini. Right before I went live, remember I talked to you, I was like, help me out with the pronunciation.
Vendramini, Luigi Vendramini. All right.
Butcher his name.
Yes, it's pronounceable. So, yeah, Luigi Vendramini, I think he won 1 and 3 in the UFC, but Paddy Pimblett, obviously the largest name on his resume.
Performance bonus in his win, big head kick knockout.
Yep. So huge acumen, huge resume coming behind him.
Oh, Johnny's already listening.
A tremendous test for Joe Giannetti and another title defense at 155. So
cheers.
Cheers. But 155-pound title fight. That's a crazy opponent right there. UFC resume on board. Headline in Cage Titans 58 on a day-night doubleheader. It was just a lot of fights. Come to a pinnacle at that fight.
What'd you think of that announcement, Johnny? Because you've trained partners with Giannetti, and
Oh yeah, I mean this is monumental. This fight, by far his hardest opponent, you'd say. Yeah. Maybe of his entire career.
Yeah.
Realistically, even being on the Ultimate Fighter, and I feel like the way that we've seen him mature, this is just the perfect opponent for him. To really test him. He wants the UFC, and he's getting a little piece of it on the 18th.
Yeah, man. It's going to be an exciting one. So we said we were going to wait for Johnny to now release the poster. So today was poster release day. And so without further ado, Joe, let's show everybody the poster. Get rid of the names on the bottom. They know who we are. Boom! Oh, we did that so seamlessly. So, hey, listen, man, it was a double header. And one poster just wasn't enough. We had some great options to choose from. The middle is going to be our, double header poster. And then we have the daytime poster to the left. I think it's to the left. Yeah, to the left as you're looking at it with the gold bottom. Drew Arpin and Sandy Munez from that amazing fight last event. So
Landed double.
Yeah, I mean, double, boom, but better way. So there you go. That's your daytime poster on the left. Then you got Will Smith doing like the feet kick to Cam Arnold as the nighttime all-pro card poster. And then in the middle is kind of what we're going to use to kind of celebrate the entire day, so to speak, with a little bit
of
the
font.
You're like,
it's very Celtic for the festive St. Patty's Day, keeping up with the 4th of July, Halloween trends.
Oh, it's Stonehenge maybe, or Stone Cross or something like that. Yeah. So, obviously it's on St. Patty's Day weekend. Obviously St. Patty's Day is on Friday. We got the fights on Saturday. Hopefully you guys like the theme. We got a bunch of posters that are going to be other posters, matchup banners and all the whole slew of marketing stuff will be all this theme as we always do. Rob Pico asked, how many tickets do I have to sell to get on one of these posters? Rob Pico, as a fan, sold 20 front row tickets. All right, he brought a group of 20 front row tickets. So I think that's the bar. So there you go. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever going to beat that Pico.
What
But
fighter did he buy them off?
he bought him off JoJo, and then also I think he got a couple off Peter Barrett because JoJo was like maxed out.
Okay.
And I think he might have got some from Valdina. Pico's pretty cool about it because like he's become super fans of everybody.
Yep.
So like he likes to try to spread the wealth sometimes. He'll say, hey, listen, I'll get a couple from you, a couple from you, a couple from you.
Oh, when you're getting 20 tickets,
Yeah. So he's pretty good on that. But hope you guys like the poster. I'd love your feedback. This is probably some of the most fun I have is designing the posters and themes. I mean, if you remember the last poster here, and these are the themes on the cans. It's really fun for me with my background and my marketing and stuff is really like tying it all together. And once that show's over, the whole new theme swoops in. And here we are. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with this theme.
So much for just a couple of years ago, picking 5 and sticking with them. You're still on that trend of just creating show after show.
Yeah, like
Chug a monster.
Are we gonna get a Celtic?
Oh, Celtic. Oh yeah,
Beer?
everything. So the cans for next show, Second Wind and 42nd Parallel. The cans will be themed with the poster because the t-shirts will be themed with the poster. All the matchup banners, everything.
New flavors though, right?
So lightweight Pilsner is going to become the lightweight lager, which will be an equivalent of like a Bud Light, Coors Light, things like that. Second Wind.
Nice.
Oh, it kind of had Second Wind. This is our 10th beer with Second Wind. Wow. So they've
10
really,
already?
10,
That's
yeah.
insane.
So they've kind of perfected that formula, so to speak. The Fight Night IPA is the same. So since this is only the second time with 42nd, the thought process was the Pilsner, which that's what they're famous for at 42nd, which is very tough for, which I learned in the process, it's very tough for craft brewers to brew Pilsners because it's very intricate. And they wanted to show that off. But then like, as we realized with the crowd that we had at fights, it's like, they're like beer drinkers. And though Pilsner's not too far off from a lager, like they want to,
Kind of like I want to say Miller.
maybe yeah. Because you drank it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm almost convinced they could drink 2 of them and they'd be all right.
I think so. But that's awesome.
Pico said he's at 14 front rows already. So all the theme is gonna be the same. Yeah, that was the night that I was up till I think I was up to 5 a.m. designing this poster, and I think I did like 5 or 6 months that day. Just to press through because like it's very much like I don't want to say an artist, but like kind of like that. Like once I get in that mode of design, it's like all right, nothing else matters. Like my mind's there, and I start just kind of going, and then I kind of set it. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, cool. I hope you guys like the poster. Throw it up one more time, and we have our first guest that's going to be on after this. But Lindsey Kelly is on hold. One more time. There's the final theme for Cage Titans 58 day night doubleheader.
It's good that we have Kelly on for our first guest of an Irish theme.
Well, we got Brody McDougal.
Oh my goodness.
We have Lindsey Kelly, and then we have Daniel Keepers. And when we booked this guest, I'll give credit to Joe Leonard. He's like, we should have made him O-Keepers, just to like pull in the Irish theme. So without further ado, our first guest tonight, Lindsey Kelly. Let's bring her in. Well, look at that theme. What's up, Lindsey? How you doing?
Hi.
What's going on, Lindsey Kelly?
I can't hear anything you guys are saying.
No?
Can't hear anything.
We're muted. She's muted.
It's all
You can-
silent right
we can
now.
hear you. I can hear you.
Is that on our end, Joe?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can't hear anything you guys are saying. Not at
Give
all.
us a minute.
We'll figure it out.
There we go. We're trying a new theme, and as you can see, we're talking about the posters. We got new Table Titans theming as well. Lindsey, you just sit there and look beautiful with your new haircut. I can see you got a new haircut, right?
She can't hear you.
I can't hear anything you guys are saying.
I think just sit there. In the minute
Oh,
you
wait,
can hear
there we
us.
go. There we go. Now I can hear you.
All right, there we go.
I was saying, just look pretty there with your new haircut. And once you can hear us, give us the thumbs up. And then they have to remind you. We can't hear you say that.
But we're good now. Thanks for dealing with the
Yes.
technical difficulties there, but quick turnaround for you, jumping right back into action. Listen, I was in all your last fight. Win, lose, or draw, that was a fantastic throwdown. You looked like a woman possessed in there, and even immediately after the stoppage, you were protesting and thinking that it was too premature. You were just hungry to get back in for more. So I love the motivation that you're asking for a quick turnaround, and just give us your thoughts on if that motivated you to really hone in on this and get another win as quick as possible.
I mean, yeah, I was pretty frustrated. I think it was pretty clear that I was frustrated. I recognize that I made a mistake, and I got caught with my hands down, but I got pretty frustrated with the stoppage. I've talked about it a lot with my coaches, and in my opinion, it's one thing if I was like getting pieced up in the beginning in like the first round, like, I was taking a lot of hits, not really doing too much, but like, and then I got hit with something like that. Like, it's one thing to stop it for that. Like, yeah, I'd understand that. But I mean, I'd say I was pretty dominant the first round. Like, I know she hit me with a jab or two, but that was literally it. I was feeling pretty good. I don't know. To say I was frustrated is an understatement. I know how hard I worked for it and everything. And I mean, hey, I said I would fight her again. I asked for a rematch. And I was told that she wasn't interested. So, I know I've mentioned it before in a different interview, but I said that win, lose, or draw, I want to make sure that person never wants to step in the ring with me again. And I mean, if she doesn't want to fight me again, then, I did my job.
Like I said, it was a barn burner and a half for as long as it lasted. It was a dynamic finish, and you still toughed it out and wanted more. And honestly, that's one of the few things I can actually say. I've been on the side of an early stoppage, so I definitely feel your pain. It's the worst feeling in the world knowing you could give more in there. And it's like, it's one thing if you really get slept or tap out or whatnot, but really feel that you could keep going, it definitely sucks. But listen, I sat on the shelf for like 2 more years after that. It's just, it's admirable to see you just turn around and light the fire and just get right back in there.
Safe to say you would have fought that night.
Yeah, no kidding.
You're not wrong. I remember, I don't remember what I was doing, but I was walking around on Sunday, and I was kind of like, you know what? If she walked in right now, I'd fight her right now. I'd go right now.
Yeah. So we got Rob Pico. You made a fan out of Rob Pico. He's saying, Kelly. He's excited to see you again. So moving on from that fight, what was it like? How quickly were we right back in that gym or in training?
So actually, my boyfriend planned a vacation afterwards. So I ended up like the Monday after the fight, I ended up in Mexico. So I was in Mexico for a week. But I mean, I definitely didn't let it rest. That's for sure. I talked his ear off the entire week. I was like just itching to get back to training, and it was a great week. I had a lot of fun, but it's time to get back to business. And I mean, I've been in the gym since then, going hard every single day. So I mean, I know I talked to my coach and everything, and I know there's still so much work to be done and everything. But I mean, to see what all my coaches pretty much said was to see the improvement from the first fight to the second fight is like astronomical. And so I hope to continue to build on that in the March bout. That's for sure.
Honestly, that's what amateurs are about, is learning about yourself and getting in there and competing first and foremost. Realistically, a lot of times in my experience in the past 13 years, a lot of times, fighters put so much emphasis on their amateur career and just want it unblemished and taking easy fights. And then it's great to see a school like yours, an evolution. Like you guys are about taking tough fights and learning about yourself and using that experience. So it's a pleasure to see that. Johnny, what do you think, advice would you give, coming in?
Advice, just doing exactly what you're doing, which is learning clearly. What is one thing that you are going to do in March that you maybe didn't do, or one thing that you did do that you wouldn't do again? Like, give me like one takeaway from the fight that you are most definitely going into the next one.
I would probably say, I know I've worked on this a lot since, but you know, just trying to be more like settled in the ring. I'm really starting to understand the difference between, you know, just sparring and actually fighting. And I know that I was getting kind of frustrated because she just kept running around in circles, and I'm just not used to. I kind of got in my own head a little bit about it, and you know, I dropped my guard obviously, and I wish I know I was throwing a kick when it happened, and I wish instead of throwing a kick, I wish I would have because I had her. It was close to the cage. I wish I would have gone in for another takedown at that point, for sure. I know my first one worked well, and that was my goal going into it. I wanted to play that grimy, like, against the cage game. That's what Nate and I wanted to do. So I'm hoping for my next fight that I can really nail that down and not get so caught up, you know, and focus on listening to Nate and what he's telling me, whether I think it's crazy or not. You know, he's telling me it for a reason. So I want to really try to focus on that, if you know what I mean.
Smart.
Nice. Coach Keegan said, "Don't chase and cut off." That was his advice.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
What do you got for Andy?
Your opponent's making her debut.
What do you know about her?
Yeah, but you probably know nothing, but you definitely know that she's probably been studying the film and whatnot. But what's your message to your opponent?
Message to my opponent: fight me again. That's really all I have to say to her.
Your new opponent.
Oh, sorry. My new opponent. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have anything to say. I'd rather just let the fighting in the cage do the talking, to be honest.
Nice.
I mean, I'm excited. I can't wait. I like, it's the Sunday afterwards. I was running around my apartment. And I was like, oh, I just want to get back in there. I just want to be back in the ring and already fighting again.
Yeah. So switching gears a little bit, you know, you're training with a bunch of fighters that are fighting either on our card on March 18th or upcoming. I know, like Mo Kanani, who's fighting on our card, but he's also fighting this weekend. But you got a couple people training to fight next week in Vermont. But on this card alone, you got Julian Connerton, you got Mo Kanani on this card. You got a lot of teammates fighting. How is it, the camaraderie, when you guys are all kind of preparing for the same goal as a fight?
It definitely makes such a difference, like knowing that you're all kind of getting ready together to go into the cage. And a lot of people say that fighting is an individual sport, and like, yeah, when you get into the cage and the doors lock, you're in there by yourself. You don't have anybody else with you. But it's so much more than an individual sport. We have such a camaraderie at Evolution that you can't really find in many other gyms. You know, we all have each other's back. We all train hard. We all like help each other get ready for fights, whether we're fighting or not. You know, like if somebody asks for hard sparring rounds, you know, we're all willing to step in and give it to them. We're willing to help out wherever. I know I've come in many times to help teammates get ready for fights. Even though, like, you know, I could be doing homework or working or whatever, but I'm like, no, if I can make time, I'll make time. And that's how Nate is and Keegan as well. They're all like, if we can make time, you know, they put the time in, like, for every single one of us. And it's hard to believe because there are a decent amount of fighters at our gym, and our coaches make time for every single one of them. And I think it shows in the results and how we fight in the cage, for sure.
Keegan's trying to prep you. I don't know if you see the comments. He said expletive, talk some shit.
Yeah, Keegan definitely does a lot of shit talking, that's for sure.
Keegan fought on Cage Titans 1, and him and I go way back, and he's definitely a little bit of a shit talker, for sure. I forgot to mention Teddy Politis as well, who's fighting for our title. And then you have another teammate that we were looking at trying to get, another 45er. Your teammate, your female teammate. What's her name? Refresh my memory.
Kayla
Britt.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so we're working on Kayla too, trying to get her going. So you got a whole crew of fighters coming down. Yeah, what do you got? Anything else for Johnny?
No, I'm just excited to see you back in action. It's fun to watch you fight. You're like a barbarian woman, and I really like that, the forward pressure. You're like, yeah, I feel like you have a really good personality, and you're just so young still too that you haven't even fully like embraced yet. And when you totally embrace it, I feel like you're gonna be a freaking superstar if you want it. So, good luck. I can't wait to see the next step.
Put on
Thank you,
one
I
of the sleeper
appreciate it.
fights of the night.
Adina, I forgot your other teammate, Adina. Listen, there's 32 fights on this card. I'm sorry, Keegan. I did forget Adina Baldry and Emily Crown.
7 people.
Yeah, I forgot her too. So, and you guys have 6 fighters on the card. So
My
Jesus.
brain's already fried from trying to start to memorize all this, but
Yeah.
excited to see you. Excited to see you.
And I got one question before you go. So I don't know if you're on TikTok, but on TikToks, Kin Moy and I, we usually break down a topic of the week. And I think I know the answer for you, but we were talking about, like, the fighter mentality, are you born with that or can you learn that? And what made me think of this question is because I look at you and I'm like, yo, this girl was born a fighter. But then we kind of we're breaking this down tomorrow. So I'd love to get you a little bit of information out of you. Do you think you're born a fighter or do you think that's something you can get taught?
I think you got to have something in you. I think you can learn all the technique in the world. You can have all the best coaches, the best training in the world, and you can probably be pretty successful. But when you look at UFC, any sort of like fighting promotion, you can tell the people who have heart. You can tell the people who are a fighter, 110%. Like when you think about I don't know, I want to say people like Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, like they may not be Conor McGregor's very technically sound with his striking, but there's something inside of both of them that they 100% were born with. Like you can't build that. And I know that Nate says the same thing. You gotta have something inside of you. When you're stepping in that cage, you got to be willing to really hurt somebody, and that not everybody can do it. And I've talked to a lot of people about this, and I can't tell you how many people will be like, oh my God, I could never punch somebody in the face, or I could never punch a girl in the face. And when I tell them that I train with guys, and it's funny to see how different I call it the civilian world is when it comes to fighting. Cause all the fighters, we joke around and we'll say oh, I'm going to punch you in the face or I'm going to choke you out or whatever. And if you say that out in public, people are going to be like, are you okay? What is that? But I definitely think it's something that you have to have inside of you. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's going to be, I'm getting text messages. I'm getting text messages from Amanda, actually. She has some things to say, but we're going to focus on Anastasia. I don't think that you knew that she'd be watching the show, and shout out to Amanda. Please drive safely and stop texting me. We need to. I just give you some advice, but it's funny because when we break this down, we kind of talked. Initially, I thought you had to be a fighter. And then I always thought, if you have to go to a school to learn how to fight, you're not really a fighter. You're either a fighter or not. But then as, I kind of watched the sport and I started training, and I thought, I'm like, wait a minute. There's something to learning how to fight. So then I kind of switched gears, and I'm like, yeah, you can be born a fighter, but you can still learn skills that can enhance your fighting ability. But then I've come back around, and I've seen fighters that have all the skill in the world, but they're just not fighters. And they, like you said, you gotta want to hurt somebody. When that cage door closes, it's kill or be killed. And that fight or flight kind of mentality, I think that can kind of bring you to the next level. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was what I was thinking as well.
So as you're equally skilled with someone, that's where whoever is the true fighter is going to come through. Because when you skill and skill match, it's who would kill the other person.
You've always said this. Everyone wants to beat someone up. Not everybody wants to fight.
Yeah.
Well, there's a big difference there, but yeah, I agree. I think you got to be born with something. You got to learn too. It's very important to learn.
Sure.
Your mentality is only going to take you so far.
Yeah.
Hell no.
So is Pitbull Kelly? That's what Nick threw up on the screen. Do you have a nickname?
I don't have a nickname. Nobody's giving me a nickname, and I'm really sad about it.
I mean, Nick just deemed you Pitbull Kelly. I don't.
Well, somebody said that their husband called her Pitbull Kelly.
Oh, Pitbull Kelly. I kind of like Pitbull. You like Pitbull Kelly?
Pitbull Kelly. I think I can ride with it. I don't know. My
So impressed that my husband called her Pitbull Kelly.
Oh, there you go. Kristen Zioli.
Listen, we
First fight I went to, so impressed, my husband called her Pitbull Kelly.
There's never too many pit bulls.
No, you can't, especially a female Pitbull is not enough.
I don't think there's a female Pitbull, is there?
I think there are.
Are
I
they?
gotta
It's good.
dive into the memory bank right here, but let's see. I'm pretty sure that there are.
This must be an inside joke. Keegan said, Lindsey, my boyfriend is real Kelly.
Oh my God. I'm going to hit him so hard.
All right. Well, Lindsey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you and the whole entire 7 people fighting from Evolution on March 18th. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Perfect. Before we bring in our next guest, I know we have Brody McDougal talking about people who are either fighters or not. I think Brody fits that mold of being a fighter. Shout out to my mom. So the other reason why I was getting texts, my mom was texting me going, hey, did you intend on telling me it was a day-night doubleheader? Because my mom, for those who don't know, she's the one that runs the front door. Her and like my aunts and a bunch of family friends, all the ladies at the front door. So if you give them shit, that's my mom. I actually had a fighter once give my mom shit. They didn't believe her that she was my mom. And she's like, I'll go get my son right now.
I forget who it was. But
I remember who it was. And I won't forget.
I think I know.
I know who it was, but we might have been looking at the pictures. But anyways, so yes, Mom, it is a day-night doubleheader. The first fight card is 12 o'clock noon start time. So for my mom and all the staff, 11 o'clock probably the doors will open, so you're going to get there early. And then 7 o'clock is the nighthime fight card. So
Everybody's learning the news now.
everybody's learning the news. I mean, there you go. So without further ado, we're talking about fighters. Either you're born with it, kind of like Maybelline commercial. You know,
yeah,
maybe she's born with it, maybe it's Maybelline. You're born being a fighter. Brody McDougal, let's get on here.
There he is, the American Psycho.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, Brody McDougal?
I love this shirt. Who are you repping? Is that Steve Hill?
Oh, no, this is Kay Hill.
Yeah. Oh, Kyle Hill. Kyle Hill. My bad. I call him Steve Hill. Kyle Hill. There you go. And Devin. Who's the bottom guy?
Mick Miles, our striking coach.
Nice, nice, nice. I love it.
Very cool.
Brody, man, it's been a long time to get this title.
You've been clamoring for the
You
belt for a long time.
busted on the scene last year. You called out, Jack Congdon after your first knockout, and he ended up going pro. Then Delahaye called you out, but then decided to go pro. We talked about Varut. We've talked about so many guys fighting for this title. We finally got somebody. How excited you finally be able to get that shot?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pumped. I mean, you guys know that. I've been calling for any fight for a minute now back at Cage Titans. You know, feels like home going back to Cage Titans. Although I did recently pick up another belt, so you know I do have 2 homes now, hopefully. But yeah, no, it's awesome to get back in front of the Plymouth Memorial fans.
You putting that party bus together or what?
Yeah, man, we're gonna try for sure. We'll have plenty of bodies out there, that's for sure.
The Brody party bus. I kind of, that's it. I like that. So, obviously we just put this fight together literally 2 days ago. What do you know about Daniel Keepers, and have you had a chance to really look him up and looked into this fight at all?
Yeah, I mean, I looked up his Tapology. I saw his records. You know, it's more of a fighter's record for sure. And then I watched a little bit of tape on him online. I'm not a big tape breakdown guy. I honestly leave that more to my corners than anything. I like to kind of do what I like to do. And plus, everybody kind of knows how I am. During that day, I'm probably just going to do what I feel like doing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I saw, he's tall. He's 6'2", so I think we're the same height. It's be the first time I fight somebody that's, the same height as me at least. And, it seems like a rangy southpaw. So he likes to throw his jab a lot. So, I mean, be ready for the jab. Yeah, I mean, did a little film study.
Nice. And I think that you said you're going to do what you do, and that's come and swinging bombs. But your last fight, you won by submission. What are you doing to us?
Yeah, I gotta make sure everybody knows that, don't sleep on me anywhere, man. Because again, it's no secret to anybody that, I'm a little crazy. I like to get in there and I want to throw down. But at the same time, I have to earn my respect everywhere. I'm a mixed martial artist by all means. And if you think I can't wrestle and you think I have jiu-jitsu, I'm going to show you.
Nice.
Showing a well-rounded skill set, and you just bring a demonic demeanor to the cage with you every single time, fitting the bill of the moniker of the American Psycho. I love it. It's really fun seeing the atmosphere that you bring, and to see it through Muay Thai and MMA, now showing off your submission skills. Do you see any difference fighting for the belt down in Connecticut versus fighting for the belt at Cage Titans? Is there any difference in the venue there?
Not really, not to me, man. I mean, at the end of the day, Mohegan Sun had pretty significant amount more people there, but there's just something about Plymouth Memorial Hall, man. It's like just that gladiators atmosphere, like everybody stacked on top of you, they're screaming, like especially when you're in the cage, man, because it's like a bowl, and you're just standing at the bottom of that cage is shaking. Like I feed off that energy, obviously. I love it. That's why I can't wait to get back in there. But I mean, yeah, it was pretty similar. They're big, they're loud. You got nerves. You're about to get in a fist fight, but yeah, I mean that brings the best out of me.
Nice. Actually, Johnny, I fought at Memorial Hall and I fought at Mohegan Sun. You fought at Mohegan.
Right.
Yeah, you too. All three of us. What do you think about the difference?
I mean, yeah, the difference is pretty insignificant. I think it's just, you walk into a fucking cage, there's a referee, and then a half-naked guy. Maybe, hopefully, you have some family yelling your name and shit. And, my mom has probably had like 6 wines at that point, so she's hollering pretty loud. It's like, it's all pretty much the same. I mean, I fought Bellator, empty fucking stadium, and it legit felt, didn't feel different. It's like just a cage. And if you love the fight, which we all do, it's just an amazing experience to have. So, what are you working on anything different or anything that we should be looking out for? Or, what's the evolution of Brody McDougal right now? How's it going in the gym?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you pegged it as just the evolution of me, man. It's just genuinely working on all the aspects of my game. Like, again, I've only been training mixed martial arts in total for like 2.5 years now. So, I mean, again, I'm hitting every aspect of MMA. I train a ton of jiu-jitsu, I wrestle a ton, and I strike a ton, and then we get our live sessions in between all that. We do everything every single week at Nostos, and there's really not a lot of time off either, whether quote unquote in a fight camp or not. I mean, if I'm not in fight camp, there's one of my close training partners that is in fight camp. So, we're always in there. We're always working really hard. And it's just, I think every fight I showed that next evolution kind of myself, if you will. And I'm excited to continue that trend.
Nice. Hey, I got a question for you because, the American Psycho, we were just talking to Lindsey Kelly about her nickname. Where did that come from?
Yeah. So, before the Ben Bracco fight, actually, I don't know if you guys saw the fight shirts or not. The fight shirts that I released, they're like me screaming with some like fake blood behind me. And one of my teammates at the gym, Devin Richard, looked at that fight shirt at the gym and was like, "Hey man, like you look like whoever the actor is from the American Psycho." And I was like, "Huh. Yeah, I guess so." And then I was actually sitting down talking to Andy out back after weigh-ins, and we're filling out all the pre-fight stuff. And Andy said to me, he's like, "Man, do you have a nickname yet?" And I was like, "I mean, I guess kind of like it just so happened my teammate said this to me the other day." And Andy was like, "I mean, I couldn't think of a more fitting character." So that was how it happened. So, 1 part Devin Richard at the gym, 2 parts Andy for, I guess, giving me the confidence to write it down.
Let me ask you this, because I have that sway. So speaking of, you didn't know the actor's name. That's no big deal. Have you seen that movie?
Yes, I have seen the movie.
Okay. Since before you were nicknamed that or after?
Before. I
Okay,
watched
cool.
it 2 times before I was nicknamed it, yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, because sometimes like people say stuff and they're like, I have no clue what you're talking. Then you have to go and watch it. So now you put yourself to it. So you knew about the movie before.
Do you have a business card?
No, I don't have a business card, Andy. I'll start working on that though.
You should get a real nice one, yeah. With the American Psycho on it. And
Brandon,
you'll get the reference.
dude, that T-shirt was badass, and there was that picture of you screaming was in the running a few times for my my poster design.
Yeah,
And-
what is that? In the running. Come on, man. You even put up
Yeah, give it to him.
4 posters of dudes screaming in the cage, and you're telling me my picture wasn't as cool, if not cooler, than one of the 4?
All right, so I'm going to deflect a little bit real quick. Brendan Boats said his son wore a Brody McDougal shirt to school. That's pretty cool.
Don't change the subject.
And just saying, speaking of, I got a Christmas card once of somebody wearing a Cage Titans, their kid wearing a Cage Titans t-shirt and a Christmas card, which is cool. So first day of school, Brody McDougal tee. That's pretty cool. All right, so back to the pictures. I'm avoiding the question. All right, 1. Here's the criteria. 1, the picture has to be from the fight previous. So like once that, like the pictures from this poster were all from, like I only select from Cage Titans 57. So that's one thing. So once that time has passed, I won't go back to an old, like even if that picture's great and I think it would be a good poster, I would never go back shows and open up that can of worms. Number 2, if you notice you're a little off-centered, and I think you're looking a little off camera, screaming, and that little smidge is just enough to me to be like, Andrew wearing a hat, and I don't like hats on a poster.
Oh, all right. Next time I'll have Andy be like, here, stand right on this dot, look for that.
But like, all right, so hold on. I will say this: raw emotion, yours was fucking right there, top 5.
Yeah.
But like, if you remember that poster, like for the Camaro one, for instance, he's literally like squared to the camera. It was just like, it was almost too perfect, and that was kind of where
Richie was off center.
Richie was off center, but it was like a wide out of the cage, like in the moment running around. There's a lot of little like really artistic stuff of the I've nixed photos because like there's a light glimmer somewhere in the shot, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do it. So there's some a little bit of weird stuff that goes on in my head. A lot of weird stuff, I should say, that goes on in my head, but
Once the second or third monster kicks in, it just the sifting process goes through a quick acceleration.
into that picture that you have of you screaming, I think she turned her camera sideways, so there's not a lot of life. Like usually, like I'm here in the picture, and I can use it because I have all this width of me. Like that picture, she really only had like barely wide enough. I was actually going to use it for tonight's Table Titan announcement, but there wasn't enough here, so I'm very limited in that picture. It is a badass picture, but I'm limited in what I can do.
All right.
Nothing but
You got off the hook, Mike.
I appreciate it, because I don't want you coming after me with those fucking hooks and those death punches, my man.
No, seriously, what the hell? You wanted me to fight this guy at one point in time.
I think I might have offered you. I think one time his fight fell out. I was like, hey, you want to fight Brody?
Oh, no, we both fought on like the same night or yeah, I think so. It was like right after my fight with Adam, and then right after his fight with Murphy.
I tried to get Andy murdered by you.
I don't know what I did to you.
So, how's the support been in the last year since you kind of exploded onto the scene? You kind of came out of nowhere. Your first fight, knockout of the year candidate, Muay Thai. Then boom, you come out, knockout of the year candidate, and your MMA fight. Like you're just knocking heads off. Like, what's the support been like?
Yeah, it's been cool, man. I've been really blessed and lucky, I think, to have a really strong support system from the start. I mean, genuinely, people that did truly believe in me and understood the sacrifice that comes with what we do. Because that's the biggest thing, I think, at the end of the day is, sure, it's hard for us to do the work, but at the same time, it's just as hard for our, friends and family who don't get access to us, don't get to see us all the time, and they, might not completely understand why I have to be at the gym for, 4+ hours a day, you know, because that's not normal to most people. But I've always been lucky to have, you know, friends and family again that, you know, support me and, you know, believe in me, and they understand that this is a process that I'm going through and something I'm really committed to. So yeah, as far as like my core people, like that's never changed. Moving on though, you know, kind of just like the more I've won, of course, you get more fans, a little bit more recognition. Some people that maybe weren't necessarily supporters at the start, you know, of course, now are kind of jumping on the bandwagon. But yeah, like that core support system for me has been the same.
Nice. So what does the American Psycho do outside of fighting? What's
I'm
your business
a
card?
really boring guy, guys. I honestly am. I'm a marketing associate, so I work 9 to 5 from home right here in my home office online. I'm doing marketing. And then, yeah, when I'm not at the gym and I'm not training, I'm honestly relaxing. You know, I don't really want to do much of anything. So sitting around, watching TV, watching fights, watching fight highlights, or just Netflix if I don't want to watch something that has to do with fighting.
What's your Netflix show you're watching right now?
I don't really watch like shows. I'm more a doc.
He froze. He's got his marketing
I was
guy.
gonna say documentaries.
He's gonna say
He was on the way to say that.
he was on the way to say documentaries.
Or Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I like
That's who-
Is he going to talk about conspiracies?
I don't know, but we lost him.
Oh, maybe he messed reconnect because we're still going. Oh yeah, he froze. Oh, there's Joe. You got him coming back on?
I hope so.
All right, Joe, we can't hear you.
Okay.
But yeah, just let us know if he comes back on.
I'll keep you company. Looks like he's.
All right, cool.
All right.
Oh, perfect.
Second, bro.
Nice sweatshirt. All right.
My bad.
What were you about to say?
I was gonna say,
Documentary?
I'm not really a show guy. I'm more a documentary guy or a movie guy.
All right. I thought he was gonna say Dog the Bounty
Get
Hunter.
down on some Planet Earth. I like nature shows a lot. I don't know why.
Okay.
Nice.
Brody, Carolyn Lynn Powell wants to know who's the best basketball player at Nostos?
Oh, best basketball player at Nostos. I mean, I did play hockey all growing up and then went on and I played hockey in college as well. But I mean, I'd like to think anybody at our gym I'm taking down in some one-on-one. And I say that specifically to get Kyle Hill really mad because Kyle claims to be a very good basketball player, but I've never seen him play. So till now.
Dude, so Johnny and I are fellow hockey players too. Man. We might have to get a little Cage Titans hockey game.
I can see him being an excellent hockey player. It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where'd you play
Cage
college?
Titans League, for sure.
Where did you go to college?
So I went my freshman and sophomore year to Framingham State, and then I
Great.
transferred and I finished out my junior and senior year at Anna Maria College, both just, you know, little D3 schools in Mass.
Good.
Nice.
Good.
Awesome.
Good.
MMA, marketing, and hockey. Somebody just asked if you were my kid because I'm MMA, a hockey player, and obviously marketing.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. If I had like a really big and like wife, because like I'm only 5'8", so he's a monster of a man. I don't know. Who knows where I'm going? Anyways, there you go. Let's spice it up a little bit. Who's the best 170 amateur at Nostos?
Oh man, dude. Definitely not playing that game at all.
I know. It was a little fun. For those who don't know,
me and Kyle are homies, man. Yeah, me and Kyle.
Yeah.
I need that kid a lot. You know,
and he just won a title out in New York, right?
Yeah, that's his second, man. So Kyle's got 2 belts. So, you know, technically he does have the bragging rights to the gym right now because he has 2. So I quickly had to follow in his steps. I have to get 2 because I can't let him be, you know, getting a big head around that.
Dude, that's awesome. And it must help you guys elevate each other as well to have somebody the same size, same weight class, same goals, aspirations. You know, if you're having a down day, I'm assuming he brings you up in the gym and vice versa.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I think we're 1 and 2 in New England right now. So, I mean, to have 1 and 2 in New England in the same weight class, the same gym, like, and again, not not just having that, but also having the type of relationship that Kyle and I do. Like Kyle and I hang out outside the gym all the time. You know what I mean? Like it's honestly an odd thing that Kyle's not up here hanging out with me right now. Like usually Kyle's over my house 5 days out of the week on top of all the time we're training. So it's funny, you know, people make fun of us. They call us boyfriends or whatever. But you know, we kind of need to have that relationship as well outside the gym to take care of each other in the gym. You know, if you have the 1 and 2 guys in New England in the gym at the same time, but all they do is beat the shit out of each other, you know, no one's getting better there. You know, we'd get hurt every week. And if Kyle and I wanted to hurt each other every week, by all means, we could have make that happen very, very easily. It's more so having that pullback to, like, again, take care of each other. And then, you know, that allows both of us to grow.
Nice. Well, Carolyn gave me the idea, but she said a basketball belt next. Pre-COVID, we used to do a cookout at my house over the summer, and we used to do all kinds of games: wiffle ball, volleyball, basketball.
Get intense.
So I think it would get pretty intense. Like we'd have all the schools over, you know, like we'd have like a team Sigyaton going against, say, Team Nostos in volleyball or basketball or whatever. I think that we might have to set it up this summer. We haven't done it since COVID, but I think you guys will be the main event, the one-on-one basketball between Kyle Hill and Brody McDougal.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I think it's only fair, though. So we'll play one-on-one basketball, but then Kyle has to get on ice and he has to play me a one-on-one hockey, and we'll see, like, out of the two, the comparison, you know, because that'll show who's truly the superior athlete.
Well, and I was a goalie, so I'll play net for you guys.
There we go.
There you go. Challenge is on. We can kind of do like the Ultimate Fighter, like coaches challenge. I like that.
I'll be like DC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, any last questions before we run, either one of you guys?
No, man, have good training. I look forward greatly to seeing you. You know, one of the rising stars here in Cage Titans. So, yeah, just do your thing, have fun. It sounds like you're on the right track in the right place. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, I knew you were hungry for a title shot and really wanted to get some gold, so I was happy from a distance when you won it down in reality, and now I'm even happier that you're competing for one and I get to call the action this time around. So I'm really stoked for it and just looking forward to seeing how this plays out and putting on another classic amateur title fight.
And before we let you go, we're going to have your opponent, Daniel Keepers, on in about 10 minutes. Before we let you go, any parting words for your opponent?
No, I mean, honestly, just I appreciate him taking the fight. It's no secret that this isn't necessarily the most favorable of matchups for him. You know, I'm sure he could have taken a lot easier fights than, you know, fighting me. It's obviously been a little bit of a challenge to match make for me. So yeah, I appreciate him stepping up to the plate, and I respect that, honestly, because I'm another person that, you know, I'm looking for tough fights too. So to see that he's coming in with that type of mindset, he wants to challenge himself, he wants tough fights, I respect that.
Yeah, it's actually, truth be told, he was actually going to be going pro. He put his name in to go pro, and then when it didn't really look like anything was shaking out, his coach was like, you know what do you got for him for amateur? And I was like, well, I got this guy, and you know, luckily they got back and said sure. So I'm happy we got to put this together, because I know you've been waiting for a long time, and I'm happy to have you fighting for our title. And I think this will be a solid fight, and I think, you know, for me, I'm excited for it. So thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you on March 18th for sure.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, brother, see you.
All right.
I'm stoked. That's a hell of a fight.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then you said Keepers is calling in.
It's 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, so good for the next kill. 32 fights, one day. So long away, but you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm saying. Making a fight right now, so give me a second.
33 fights, one day. It's, I know it's tough. They keep pouring in, but that's another insane fight. Daniel Keepers with 7 fights under his belt, calling in shortly. I know he's coming off a loss, but 1-1 in 2022. Yeah, gearing up for a big 2023. McDougal trying to go for a second belt. It's a tough guy to find opponents for, Brody McDougal. So Daniel keeps stepping up. Looking forward to hearing how he's feeling about this matchup in just a few short minutes.
Just like a large guy.
Just a bunch of
shredded up. And 6'2". I mean, just a
Finally, a true welterweight. Finally,
he's a-
somebody's going to be matching up with.
He's overtrained at
Full
G&G,
side.
and I hear that, he's a transplant. He just recently moved out here. I guess
Yeah.
Jason Franklin and those guys met him somewhere, and he came and trained on like a vacation. Then he decided to move out here because of the training he was getting at G&G. And G&G is emerging as like a really top school out in the Western Mass area. There's like Jason Franklin was part of Team Link.
Yep.
He was around part of a bunch of different schools. Now this G&G with like Pat Casey, Keepers. Who else? Farouk, who's a stud wrestler who's going pro. There's just a bunch of guys that they're getting out there, getting a lot of work.
A couple cards ago, they were bringing 3 full fighters. The
Yeah.
card.
Oh, Carlos Ballesteros actually
Yep.
coming from G&G, and he's fighting on this card. We just
There we
made
go.
his fight earlier today. He is fighting Blaze. Let me see what his name
Oh,
is.
Romero too. They have out of there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Marcel Romero's out of there.
So,
Hold on. I got to find my text messages. You have the card. He's fighting Blaze out of Broadway. I just forget his last name. If you can pull it up.
I'm looking it up right now. Blaze Nichols.
Blaze Nichols. So Carlos Ballesteros versus Blaze Nichols going down on Cage Titans. What's up, Will Asia, as we mentioned last week. Nico Mavromides. Huge Muay Thai fight that you guys.
Oh, jeez.
That's gonna be.
That's a scrap and a half right
Action
there.
packed. Action packed.
And that's going to be starting things off a bit after the ladies start things off. Emily Crown and Adina Boudry. And then Will Asia, Nico Malcolmatis. Holy shit, that's a scrap. I am tickled pink that that's going to be kicking things off. That's the 1-2 punch of Muay Thai. Start off the day card. I really
High
love
level stuff.
it. That's
These aren't orders yet.
They're not in order?
Not in order yet.
Not quite?
No.
Still, I'm going to enjoy a nice cup of coffee while watching that.
So here we go.
Sure.
I'm gonna give you the rundown so far. We're gonna go to the movie. I got also another announcement, but let's just go because we're flowing now.
Okay.
Adina Boudry taking on Emily Crown.
Boudry. Who's it?
That's not my department, the pronunciation.
Boudry.
I thought it was Boudry.
Boudry?
You ask her. That's the other announcement, not me. That's a Muay Thai fight. Emily Crowd. Oh, we already have Dan on. Oh, look at that. Dan just got on. All right, Dan, give me a minute. I already started. Now all these people are like, ooh, we want to hear our names. So I got to go through it now. I'm going to go quick. Adina Boudry taking on Emily Crowd in a Muay Thai fight. Will Asia taking on Nico Mavromides in a Muay Thai fight. And then let's just jump right to the amateur fights. Matt Souza out of Triforce taking on Neil Masvidal out of Sidyatong at 125. Lindsey Kelly, who was on earlier, out of Evolution, taking on Anastasia Daphnu out of UFC Gym. We got Troy Cutter out of Kingston JKD at 195, taking on Andrew Jacobs out of Lozon. We got Steve Hill out of US MMA at welterweight, taking on Timmy Walsh. Then we got Christian Acavaria. Go ahead, give it to me, Andy.
Echeverria.
Out of F5 Fight Team, taking on Tyler Wolf out of Broadway BJJ
Oh, wait.
at 155. Carlos Vespasianzo out of Local Lobo at 140, taking on Tony Rivera. That was scheduled last fight, moving over to this card. Miles Avery out of Bishop's Boxing, taking on Tim Melvin from Broadway. We just mentioned Blaze Nichols out of Broadway, taking on Carlos Ballesteros. We got Dion Perry returning out of Triforce at 150, taking on Bobby Baker out of Bishop's Boxing. We got the Bambino, Phil Locino at 145 featherweight, taking on Nick Roman out of F5 Fight Team. Coming to us from New York out of Lions Den, Caleb, Andy, Svingala, taking on Ash Rao at 135 out of Broadway. Then we got Daniel Keepers versus Brody McDougal for the title. We got Brett Layton versus Teddy Politis for the title. And then I know a couple people are like, Mike, what about my name? I got some more right here if you can see it. Don't zoom in, but these are all names that I have. And you can see the highlights that offers are out there. And wait. Oh, wait a minute.
So-
I did forget about Julie Connerton. I just made that now. Julie Connerton taking on Sandy Munez is also on this card. I forgot that. MMA fight. At 145. So then I'm just going to name a couple more names. Matt Martinez is coming back out of Sidyatong. I'm hoping that we're going to get your boy Jack Noon out of South Shore back on the card.
Yeah.
Greg Jones, we have an offer out. We're waiting to confirm hopefully Wednesday. Maybe. So yeah, there's a couple other fights. I got a couple people out of FAF, Sean Graham's gym. I got 2 names from there. So there's a couple more things that I'm working on. So
Is that like green, yellow, orange? Is that like almost definite, maybe definite.
So the green,
It's just in, we're starting a third card, starting at
the
8
green
a.m. on
yellow is
Saturday.
like who I pitched.
Okay.
So Johnny was asking my color code. So usually I kind of like I color code them like who I'm thinking about, and then like I have to wait for the pieces to fall in place and then kind of go down the line. And then also I got 2 names, including a female fighter at 120 from No Stills, because now that Brody's locked in, they were like, hey, can we get 2 more people to maybe another name or 2 so we can get 2 fighters or at least 3 fighters. So they gave me a name at 35 and they gave me a female fighter at 120 for MMA. Yeah, so like we joked around. They might have to do a 3rd fight, but we're not doing a 3rd fight. Anyway, so there's your amateur fight so far.
Set your alarms.
For March 18th, the daytime card. But anyways, one half, we just talked to Brody McDougal. We have the other half of the 170 title fight. Daniel Keepers, let's bring them on in. Bada bing, bada boom. Hey!
What's
What's up?
going on, Dan Keepers? Welcome to Table Titans.
Thanks for having me.
KC, huh?
Hmm?
We can hear you.
Yeah, loud and clear, man.
Kansas City Chief fan, huh?
Oh yeah, we taking it this year. Yes, sir.
You're from the area.
Nah, I'm not from the area. I'm just a Patrick Mahomes fan and Travis Kelce fan, so I support them a lot.
So I didn't probably do it justice. Bring me through what brought you to G&G.
All right, so it's a long story, man. You got time for it?
Yeah, dude, the floor is
That was
yours.
yours.
If you have time, we have time.
All right, I bet. So, I got into fighting my brother. He fights my younger brother. He's a year younger than me. He convinced me to get into it. We made a promise that, like, in 5 years, if I wasn't where I wanted to be with music, I'd get into fighting. Because he said I just had like a natural thing for it. COVID ended up hitting. And then I was just like, all right, let's do it. And I was like, but if I'm gonna do it, I wanna take everything serious, you know. I wanted to throw myself in the fire, which I did. Last year was my first year, like really just being in there, and I didn't shy away from anything. I was just in there. So I moved to Iowa, from Vegas to Iowa. Joined my brother's gym, but me and his coach. Yep, go ahead.
Are you originally from Vegas?
No, I'm originally from Wisconsin, but I moved to Vegas when I was 21 with my older sister, who's she's a travel nurse. So I moved there with her. She's like my second mom. So, yeah, it was just, at the time, it was the best thing for me to do. Like best decision to make, I guess. And I learned a lot moving there. Like I grew a lot as a person, mentally, spiritually. And I don't know, now that I'm on this fight journey, it's like it's constantly just, those things are just getting better and better. Like with different challenges, adversity, and just learning how to like maneuver through it and go through the fire and not try to go around it or like cower away from anything. Just go through it and figure it out. And you know, it is what it is. But back to the
So
story.
you mentioned Vegas to Wisconsin, Idaho?
Iowa.
Iowa to Iowa. So I went to Iowa to join my brother's gym. And me and his coach, it didn't click. He was, I don't like bashing people, man, but the dude was kind of a weenie, man. He was a weenie. He just,
That's not
I don't
too
know,
bad.
he was a weenie. So we just didn't click. We didn't click. He had I guess the little dick syndrome or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. He wanted to be, I don't know. We just didn't click. So I ended up staying in Iowa for a year, and I wasn't really training with anybody. I was just like doing stuff on my own. And then eventually I joined the boxing gym, Elite Boxing. And I was there for like 3 months or 2 months. And then I met an old man, Jason Franklin. That's the guy that got me to move here. I met him. I took a fight on like 7-day notice or 8-day notice or something like that with him against Martin Thompson. And he held to his word. Everything he told me, he held to it, you know. And I always said, like, I need a coach and someone that I feel like I can trust and I can go to about anything, and like that, never take it the wrong way or anything like that. And he's been that plus more, man. He's been amazing, and I respect him a lot, and I appreciate him a lot. So I came out here. I took the fight on short notice, and I got in the gym for like one day, and we trained for like 3 hours, 4 hours the day before the fight. I took it at a catch weight. After the fight, I went back to Iowa, and then I had made plans to go back home to Vegas, and I was going to leave the boxing gym that I was at because I was only working on boxing for a short period of time. And then I went back home to Vegas, went to Extreme Couture, started training there. I had a rib cage injury that I was dealing with while I was training there. And then eventually, me and old man, Jason Franklin, we stayed in contact. Like, he'll always either hit me up or I'll hit him up, sending him like little different videos of me training at Extreme Couture, just asking his opinion on things. And he was always available. He was just always there, man. Like, just a great guy. Like, it's one of those people where it's like, I don't know. I always said, like, for me, for my coach, I want to see the guy that's looking over me almost like my father, because I lost my father at 14. So he's kind of like that. I kind of see him as a father figure. To me, he's family. And I stick my neck out there for him, you know, and I'll walk through fire for him if he told me to. And then I ask questions later. So eventually he convinced me to move out here. I came out here April of last year, because it's 2023. So April last year, I came out here. And I've just been grinding, man, working on my beat, my wrestling, my BJJ, just fine-tuning my striking, just getting better and better. Had a few bumps in the road. I fought Austin Shoot. That went all right. Turned around, fought David Rice. That didn't go too well. That loss kind of sting. I want that one back. I plan on getting that one back. And then I didn't know that I had a partial tear in my supraspinatus. I found that out after the fight. I just been rehabbing. So I kind of just been on the sideline for a little minute. But it's probably one of the best things that ever happened, that injury in itself. It sucked being on the sideline and like not knowing when I'd be healthy and shit like that. But I got great coaches, man. Coach Darby, old man, Coach Dan, Coach Chris. I got great teammates. And they just, I don't know, my coaches helped me figure out ways to stay positive about it and continue to develop and grow as an athlete, and then mentally as a person and an athlete, spiritually as a person and an athlete. And I think that's something that a lot of people fail to realize, that a lot of people think it's just physical, fighting is physical, but that's a small percentage of it. A big percentage is mainly mental and spiritual, you know, and I'm learning that every day, and it's growing, and it's showing. It's showing in the gym. Like over these past, like I say 3 months, I look the best that I've ever looked, like in every area of fighting. I don't know. And I give all the thanks to my coaches, and mainly old man, because he was the guy that convinced me to come here. He convinced me to come here, man. Like, so if it wasn't for him, I don't know. Huh?
I'm gonna start calling him old man. I'm gonna start calling him old man.
Yeah, he's a great guy, man. He's a great guy. Like, if you know him, you know he's a great guy. Like, so I give it, I mean, glory to God and stuff like that. But oh man, like, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have came here. You know, and who knows? I probably would have went through a few more gyms, a few more shitty coaches, a few more shitty experiences. But now everything is starting to click, and it's starting to click at the right time. And like, man, I feel really good, and I'm just excited. I'm excited to be healthy, and I don't know, man. I'm excited to go out there, like, man, I don't know, it's just clicking.
We're excited for you. And I'm dying to ask you this question because you mentioned it earlier.
Yes,
your music career.
Yeah.
What were you doing in your music career? Like, what were you, a singer, or what was it?
Oh yeah, I sing it right, man. So that's my first love right there. That's my passion. Like, that's something that'll never die for me. Music. I sing it right. I still write from time to time. I love singing. Melodies always playing in my head. Music always playing in my head. So yeah, that's my first love.
I want to put you on the spot. Can you do something for us?
Oh man, don't put me on the spot, man. I've been look. I work early in the morning. I got up at 5, went to work, went from work to physical therapy. They working me out like a dog because they trying to build the muscle back up in the shoulder. Now I went from physical therapy to training, trained for a few hours. I'm tired. I ain't gonna sing right now, man.
All right. Well, Nick, who does our social media, he said your walkout song better be on point or gotta be on point.
Oh no, it's going. So my walkout song it's already been decided. My coach mentioned it, like a month after my David Rice fight. He was like, "This is gonna be a walkout song." The only thing is, I was injured and I kept retweaking my shoulder because I was like, I didn't want to sit. It was hard for me to just like sit out of the gym. I don't know. You guys probably, if you're an athlete, you probably know what it's like to like be injured and like you constantly, you like, oh, I'm feeling better, even though you know you're not feeling 100%. But you just like, you want to be in there and you watching everybody and they perform and they going and it's just like, I want to be in there. You know, I want to keep getting better. I want to keep working on things. Like, it's hard, man. And you got to try to find that balance. Back to old man. He forced me to sit for like 3 weeks. It was a long 3 weeks, like eventually, but it did my shoulder. It did it a lot of justice. Like now I'm able to just go and I can just go full throttle. I don't even think about it anymore. I'm just going now. So it feels good.
So Monetize Pain is in the comments. Monetize Pain. It seemed like they're a fan of yours. They probably know you, but they're asking
that's my
you
bro.
to
That's my brother, man. That's my little brother, man. That's my
he
brother.
wants you to sing. He said you gotta sing.
Oh man. Oh man.
Let's go.
Another time. This gonna
said,
be a
"Don't
long
run-
journey.
I don't know if you can see the comments. Said, man, don't run away from the challenge at hand. Sing.
With some glasses,
Oh,
like
You see this?
it's okay. Sing when you get that belt.
I got you. After I give my thanks to God, to my family, to old man, to my coaches, to my teammates, and all that, I bust a note. I got it.
All right, cool. Who would you say? I love the singing thing because I'm not a singer, but I pretend that I am, and I love to sing. I love you. Like, who would you say you like you're like an artist that you would say you sound like or your style is like influenced by?
My style is more like modern day soul pop, so like Sam Smith or I don't know. I've been told I sound like a few people. Some I don't really get. Like somebody told me I sound like Daniel Caesar before. I don't feel like I sound like Daniel Caesar. I feel like I sound like me. But the artists that I admire are people like Michael Jackson, like the greats, man. Sam Smith, I think he's a great. I think he already solidified himself there. I don't know. I listen to a lot of music, R&B artists like Usher, Chris Brown. Not Chris Brown so much these days, but back in the day, Chris Brown, Usher. I don't know. I love a lot of music, man. So I'm inspired. I take inspiration from anywhere. Like, and when you're a writer, because I don't only sing, I also write. So sometimes when I write, I would write for other artists. So sometimes I write a song and I would imagine that I'm writing it for John Legend. So I would try to give it a John Legend feel, you know, or I feel like I'm writing for like Charlie Puth or writing for a female. So I would try to give it that artist type of feel. So I experimented with all type of stuff. It's just, if I would have made it somewhere with music where I wanted to be in 5 years, I would have stuck with music. But because I wasn't where I wanted to be, I walked away from it. Like I created a few songs, I just never released them. And my brother in my family, they was always like, release them. And I'm like, nah, they just not where I want them to be. And I'm my biggest critic, away from anybody else. Like I love my coaches, like, because they super hard on me. I'm the same way in fighting. My coaches are hard on me, right? And they don't shortchange anything with me. But I'm also my biggest critic. So when they on my ass about something, it's in my head. And then I'm at home and then I shadow box for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then I'm exercising, I'm working out, like, and I'm trying to work on the things they tell me. I'm watching like NCAA tournaments. I'm watching, like, if I get caught with something in the gym, I'm watching how to defend it. I'm watching, like, I don't know. I'm constantly just always trying to be better, man. And I'm always trying to perfect my craft. And that's why in this sport, I feel like that's one of my biggest strengths right there is like, I'm always trying to be better than I was the day before. Like literally, Like I live by that. For me, it's a lifestyle. So, like, I don't know, man. And once again, I appreciate old man because I tell him all the time, like after gym session or whatever, I tell him all the time, like, I appreciate you. But I don't know if he know how much I appreciate him. And I'd be like, man, like, I'm not just saying, I really do. Like, because, like I said, if it wasn't for him, I don't know. It could have really been delayed because we run into asshole coaches that they feel like, I don't know, some coaches are just weenies, man. I don't know.
We're bringing back the word. Dude, Ty's Payne, your little brother is your biggest hype man. He just keeps dropping comments after comments. Listen, I think, all right, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but we got a fight obviously coming up. But I think we might have to introduce the fighting singer, man. Like that could be your, I don't want to say your gimmick because I think gimmicks make it sound like corny, but like that could be your thing. You got the stage, you got the present, you got the platform. Yeah, your persona, you got the platform. It's like, hey, listen, man.
We had a live music walkout last show.
Yeah, we did have Hassan Graham, you know him?
That sings his own walkout song.
Yep, I know Hassan Graham.
So did you see Hassan Graham? He came out with a wrap up.
Yeah, I think that was dope, man. Hassan, he a cool dude. He a cool dude.
You
Sing yourself out. Sing your own walkout song as you come to the cage.
Preparing to kill him, man, and coming out to my own tune. I like it.
And dude, that would be ESPN top 10. Guarantee. You come out belting some R&B like.
Imagine like dropping a single.
That's one way to release it.
Right?
Yeah. That's a good song. All right. Let's work on that. I think we're onto something.
Definitely.
It's definitely a first.
I talked to my coaches. They was kind of saying, Coach Darby was kind of saying that. He was like, you could do like the national anthem or something. I was laughing. I think it's funny.
Are you down?
The national anthem? I don't know, man.
If it helps you relax.
Think about that. The offer's out there. We're always looking. Andy sings it. We have video. Let's think about it because that would be pretty cool. Think about it.
I'm gonna think about it. Think about it.
All right. Well, hey, we appreciate you taking the time out tonight and kind of give us a little bit of insight on your journey.
Yep.
And we look forward. I look forward because old man, as you call him, Jason Franklin. Him and I go back to like 2009. When I started Cage Titans and he started. He was with Premier FC. So I've known him for a long time, and he's mentioned your name a few times, and he kind of filled me in a little bit on your journey. And you know, I'm excited that we finally got a chance to get you on one of our cards and let you showcase your skills and talents to our Cage Titans community.
Yeah, this one's gonna be special, man. Like I was telling my brother, like everybody talking about it's a title fight. I'm like, that's a plus. You know, like to me, that's a plus. But my next fight, I was already telling old man this, recovering from my injury. I was like, this next one, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. I can feel it. Like I just feel it, man. And I like when I'm in the gym or when I'm at home, I just feel it. So I'm excited, man. And I'm gonna say this. I hope he's putting in the work because I watched his tape. He bangs. He bangs. I respect that. And he used to play hockey, so I know he's tough. I know he got some toughness in him. I watched his interview. I listened to him because I like to get as much mentally and physically like what my opponent do and who they are. So I just, man, it's gonna be a good night. It's gonna be a fun night. It should be a banger because he's gonna be tough. So I'm expecting him to be tough. So it's gonna be a banger. It's gonna be a good one, man. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you on March 18th. Thanks for spending some time with us, and good luck in the next 6 weeks of training, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Wow.
Go KC in the Super Bowl, I guess.
I didn't want to get no cake. Go KC. I mean, I respect that he likes KC, but I mean, actually, I don't even really care.
I don't care.
I
don't like the team or the sport as much anymore.
like actually. Oh yeah, Jalen Hurts, right? Yeah. Okay, I guess.
Casey.
Melody Keepers, man. I gotta say, what's up, Tony Rivera? Tony Rivera mentioned his fight earlier, Carlos Vespasiano. Man, Daniel Keepers. I love having new people that we
Good
haven't had
energy.
on. Yeah, good energy.
right there.
Yeah, I think he was in a rocking chair.
Yeah.
He was definitely in a rocking chair because
One of those
I
big
didn't like
rocker
the
lounges.
yeah, man. I've been hearing about this guy for the last year. Jason and I talk, often, and he's mentioned his name a few times, and I'm pretty stoked because Jason said this kid's got some talent, and to get up and move across country and to pursue this, like to put in the time and like that takes a special kind of dedication to person, like just to uproot your life and just go on the road in search of training.
Once but twice.
Oh wow, yeah.
Right?
Uh,
Fucking weenies.
yeah, weenies. I like weenies, man. Shout out to Nico for being willing to step into the matrix.
that?
We mentioned, we mentioned Nico Mavromidas versus Will Asia earlier. There you go. Yeah, man, that's dude. I'm looking forward to that fight because I know both guys are, from what I hear about Daniel Keepers inside the gym and the company he keeps. And then, obviously we all know about Brody because we've seen him before. That fight's definitely going to probably steal that show on the card.
Like
Or the day card.
the more the scenarios playing in my head of what the 7-fight veteran's going to do with this new young and hungry champion is just it's going to be a barn burner and a half right there. And seeing how confident both of them are and knowing how prepared they are, and how much respect that they have for each other as opponents, I think that this could be. I know we say this about all the fights, but let's just circle this one as a certified fucking banger.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You can tell the way that Keepers has learned from his fights. He seems like very realistic, down to earth, and he's taken every fight that he's had and he's learned from it, getting better. Sounds like he's had some injuries. Super
That's like going
injuries are not fun.
You know that injury?
Yeah, yep. So
I actually was going to ask him. So when he first said the name of it, I was like, what the hell's that? And then when he mentioned his shoulder, because I almost was going to be like, oh, Johnny, you dealt with that. Yeah, what advice? But he seems like he has good people too.
I think so. Physical therapy, active, this is good. So yeah, exciting card, but this fight definitely circled.
Yeah, and this fight literally, like I said, on Saturday, we made this fight probably at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was like bam. And we went live and announced it. And since I've announced it, people have been super stoked, super excited. That's right. Yeah. But anywho, all right. Well, hey man, it's been a great show. We've had some great guests. I love talking to people.
Those were good guests.
It's actually feeling nice. We're wrapping it up within an hour and 20 minutes this time instead of going 3 hours.
3 guests.
Hour and a half.
And we announced fights.
Yeah, the goal was an hour. The goal is now an hour and a half. So like today's goal was an hour and a half. Today's goal, we're at an hour and 17 minutes. So to me, I got 13 more minutes to talk, but I'm not mad at going home a little early today.
Yeah, we've had a couple of really extensive shows in the past. Or hey, it's time for me to hit Cagney's actually on the way back.
Oh, you're gonna hit the go comedy?
Fuck yeah, I was gonna take tonight off, but you got them all limbered up and talking, and I feel like I gotta yell about something. So fuck, I might as well try to make some people laugh about it. An open mic, throw shit at a wall and see what sticks.
So just some housekeeping items. So we dropped the poster today. Can we throw those posters up one more time?
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk a little bit about the tickets and stuff. So we can throw those posters up. So basically, I've got some people asking, just like Cage Titans 50, this will be 2 separate events in themselves. So what that means is there will be a ticket for the daytime card. There will be a ticket for the nighttime card. So this will be 2 separate events. That was one question that kind of constantly got brought up. Hey, but just like Cage Titans 50, there's a day event and there's a night event. I did mention that a couple people asked about the hall pass. That was a big hit for last time. You can bring me back in without the posters. Some people asked me about the hall pass. That was a huge hit last show, but unfortunately the hall pass won't be available for this show simply because the hall pass, the whole premise of it was to open the doors early the first 100 people who bought hall passes. But we really can't open doors.
For some reason, this time we just got way too much shit going on.
So it's like,
no hall passes.
at the events go 12 to 4. We need time to clean it. And if the fight starts at 7, that means regular doors open at 6. That means hall pass doors would open at 5. And if we end at 4, there's just no way we're doing it. So there's no hall passes for this event. There will be the VIP stage seating, the VIP booths. There'll be 2 available for the day. One of them's already sold out for the night, so there's only 1 available for night. So if you're interested in the VIP stage booth, it sits 8 people, and it's first come, first served. There's 2 available for the day. There's only 1 available at night. Tickets haven't gone on sale yet, but somebody already contacted me. It's his birthday. Kev Daddy, and he already purchased. He already put his request in last event for the VIP booth. So yeah, so
if you want a
tickets.
VIP, blame Kev Daddy.
Yeah, so as for tickets will go on sale tomorrow. And those will go live. We'll update the website with all the new posters, because part of what we got going on is right now, which Nick's doing behind the scenes, is uploading all of our new profile pictures, our banners on all our social medias, and we're kind of doing the whole churn over. So tomorrow our website will be churned over with the ticket links, the stories, the main events, all that stuff. So it's a process. So tomorrow will be tickets on sale. We'll have a graphic that will go up. The minute the link goes live, you guys can go and get tickets. And again, the biggest thing is there's a ticket for the day and there's a ticket for the night. So it's 2 tickets because it's 2 separate events. It's not one continuous event. Spectation Sports is back. They will be streaming the entire event. Again, a daytime and a nighttime. We're excited to have them as our partner. And fingers crossed, live sports betting in person is active now in Mass.
Cool.
The goal is March, that it will be online available. So if all goes well, there'll be some active betting for our March card as well on pros only. And disclaimer, Fighters Corner is not allowed to bet.
Change that.
Say that loud. The Fighters Corners are not allowed to bet.
Yeah. So and then shout out to Shameless Don. He's fighting this weekend.
Yeah, Shane was Don Shane's out down in Perth, Australia. Got to have a big shout. What are we doing? We want to fucking watch the fights on Saturday?
Can we do a live there?
Yeah, we could. What's the time difference?
I think it's starting like a normal time around here, just because it's.
Yeah, we can maybe do something,
We're
yeah.
probably fighting in the morning over there. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can maybe do something.
I'm down to get down here for the fights and not buy the pay-per-view. And this time around, I just paid all my heating oil, so fuck it, let's do it.
And then last thing, look out. He wants the most electrifying fighter of the night bonus. And then my last housekeeping issue is we are doing our cage mat and all our cage graphics over for this upcoming event. So anybody interested, I get asked all the time, how can I be on the cage mat? How can I be on a ring post?
Call me.
We're going to be posting something up this week about how to get involved in that. And anybody interested, reach out to me, shoot me a DM, and I can get you pricing, get you information on all of that. So that's something new. Also, jeez, you guys thought I was gonna be quick.
Yeah.
So TikTok tomorrow, Tuesday. Are you born a fighter? No. Are you born a fighter, or can you learn how to be a fighter? That's tomorrow on TikTok Tuesday with Kin Moy. On Thursday, that's what I wanted to get to. The lights have finally arrived from China. 3 months ago, we ordered all our new lights. We ordered them 3 months ago. We've been renting the lights, even though we had $12,000 worth of lights on purchase coming over here. They finally, the sea shipping container is cleared. We have them. And on Thursday's Instagram 12 at 12, we're going to be doing it live from Phil Grenier, our sound and light guys workshop. So we're going to go to Phil's. Yeah, we're going to go to Phil's workshop, and we're going to give you guys all a sneak peek and a preview of all these amazing lights that have finally arrived. So we're going to have some new updated walkout, things like that. So it's going to be cool. So that's Thursday. Johnny, what do you got for us?
Exciting. Not much, watch social media closely. Social media teams are always putting up content, multiple posts a day. Fights, news is dropping, things are updated all the time. So, stick with us.
What do you got, Andy?
Nothing.
Trying to get out to go do comedy.
And get your tickets. And speaking of which, February 25th, the Flying Jew, Lisa Ad's headlining here.
Oh, yeah,
Joey Diaz's Church What's Happening Now podcast. So tickets are on sale. Link is up, but other than that, March 18th, Cage Titans 58 day night doubleheader. So you got 33 pairs of fighters that are going to have tickets in hand soon. So can't stress it enough. Get those tickets off those people before they got to cut weight in the sauna. But other than that, thanks for tuning in. Thanks as always.
See you guys next week.
See you next week. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Hit that. Boom.